There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right? No, it's very progressive, you know. There are some clubs now where the comedian has to sign a thing saying he won't say anything contentious or he won't say anything that could offend anyone. It's a safe space for the audience. Woke comedy. And I tried to watch a bit of it, and I decided I'd rather watch Louis C.K. masturbate.
There's a new wave of comedy gaining popularity these days, and it's called woke comedy. It's all about being progressive, avoiding anything that could offend anyone. In fact, there are now comedy clubs where performers have to sign agreements saying they won't say anything controversial or offensive. It's essentially a safe space for the audience. I tried watching a bit of it, but honestly, I'd rather watch Louis C.K. do his thing on stage than sit through that. Enter Ricky Gervais, a comedian, actor, and master of discomfort. Known for tearing down the walls of political correctness, Ricky brings a raw, unapologetic brand of humor that's not afraid to take shots at sensitive topics. Brace yourself. His style is about brutal honesty.
Correct and hilarious, of course.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
So this is...
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But, you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. So if you're saying anything...
And yes, a bit of discomfort. As Ricky likes to say, being offended doesn't automatically mean you're right. If you appreciate humor that's bold, edgy, and unafraid to go there, hit that subscribe button. But be warned, if you're easily offended, maybe this isn't for you. Let's dive in. At the core of Ricky's philosophy is this: being offended is just a feeling.
Yeah, and they're not necessarily the same thing. You can make jokes about any subject. It depends what the joke is.
Yeah.
There's no rules. You can't joke about this. You can.
You should be able to.
You just can.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like bad breath. It's your problem, not everyone else's. He's made a career of pointing out that just because someone claims to be offended doesn't mean they're justified. Offense is personal. It's all about feelings. And some people are offended by equality. So what? You can't please everyone. If you try, you'll end up pleasing no one. Especially in comedy, you can't avoid taboo subjects and contentious issues. Sometimes humor lies in irony.
Morning show, a superb drama, yeah. A superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and... So...
And sure, not everyone will get it. But if you try to avoid upsetting anyone, you won't be doing anything at all. Ricky argues that if you were to legislate against stupidity, there'd be no comedy left. It's like complaining about pineapple on pizza. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean Italy's wrong. Ricky's point is simple. Offense, like opinions, is subjective. Everyone's got one, but that doesn't make them right. Ricky Gervais believes that comedy should have no...
Guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, it's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country.
Sure, it's risky, but that's part of what makes it exciting. If jokes had to stay in a safe space, they wouldn't be jokes, they'd be TED Talks. The real issue comes when people confuse the subject of a joke with the actual target. The subject might be controversial, but that doesn't mean the comedian is attacking it directly. It's all about context, and that's what makes comedy so unique. There are no rules, no sacred cows. You can joke about anything as long as it's
Categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So, fifth time. So, we were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. No. It was mostly white people. And I thought, nah, not on my watch. So, maybe next year. Let's see what happens.
Now, let's talk about the celebrities who love to preach about saving the world, all while collecting paychecks from companies that run sweatshops. It's like a vegan working at a steakhouse. Ricky's got a killer metaphor for this. Take Apple, for example. The company produces the critically acclaimed show The Morning Show, a drama all about dignity and doing the right thing. But they're also a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, while these stars preach about being woke, they're still taking...
Oh, they're not funny. Even if I agree with them, I stand up and I say, well, you can't say that. You've got to say, you don't find them funny, you know. And I hate it when people say, that joke was offensive. I got to say, no, you've got to say, you found it offensive. Because it's all about feelings, and feelings are personal. And there's loads of types of comedy, and comedy evolves, you know. There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right? No, it's very progressive, you know. There are some clubs now where the comedian has to sign a thing saying he won't say anything contentious or he won't say anything that could offend anyone. It's a safe space for the audience. Woke comedy. And I tried to watch a bit of it, and I decided I'd rather watch Louis C.K. masturbate. Can't mention him anymore.
Very corporations they criticize. And it's not just Apple. Think about Amazon, Disney, and all the other big players. If ISIS started a streaming service, he jokes, you'd probably be getting a call from your agent to star in their next show. And then there's the idea of celebrities using award speeches as platforms to push their political agendas. Ricky calls out this hypocrisy. Many of these stars don't really understand the real world and have lived more sheltered lives than most people.
With short legs and long arms, I sort of stoop like that. My back's getting hairier by the day. I've got fangs. I love nuts. Oh, I love nuts. And once I was at the zoo and I could tell people were looking at me, so I just started masturbating. So, I am a chimp, right? I am a chimp, if I say I'm a chimp. And so I've got to live as a chimp for a year, then have hormones, get me all nice and hairy. That'd be lovely, right? I'm going to stay a male chimp, so I can keep all that, right? A male heterosexual chimp, keep the same girlfriend. Jane will be happy, she loves me, she loves chimps, so, you know. And I reckon that's got to be easier for a man to turn into a chimp, we're so close, than for a man to turn into a woman in many ways. You know what I mean? A bit of hair and a top lip like that, as opposed to your cock and balls ripped off and a hole gouged out into... No, I'm not a doctor, but that is the gist of it. I know which one I'd rather have done. And I'm not saying I think chimps are better than women. No way. Right? Any ladies here, right? I can't see you, but to me, every single one of you is equal to a chimp. So...
for a dramatic role on a morally questionable streaming platform, and then standing up, all teary-eyed, thanking your parents, and launching into a speech about saving the planet. It's a mix of absurdity and irony that Ricky can't resist pointing out. In the end, Ricky's message is clear. Comedy is about pushing boundaries, and if you're a celebrity, maybe just accept your award.
Not all women, I mean the old-fashioned ones, you know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God, you know, the ones with wombs. Oh. Those fucking dinosaurs. No, I love the new women. I know the new women, they're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately, the ones with beards and cocks. They're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person isn't a lady? Well,
your agent and God, and leave the political preaching to someone else. Ricky Gervais has a knack for poking fun at celebrities who take their fame way too seriously. In one of his most memorable bits, he mocks the world of wellness influencers who think their opinions on politics are somehow more valid just because they're famous. It's a perfect example of his razor-sharp wit. Imagine this. Ricky playing a celebrity influencer, telling you what to think. Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity...
Honestly, I got an adrenaline rush thinking of, what I could say and whether I'd have to go to jail. And I like that opportunity because I do like that, when there's a tension, when there's an elephant in the room, although he wasn't there this year. I do like that because I do like confronting that because I think it takes the audience to a place it hasn't been before. Mm-hmm. And it can be a mutual backslapping, fest, fine, but don't televise it, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards.
Know all about things like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, that's like a hate crime. And it makes me sad and angry. I might even leave the country. And you don't want that. Nothing screams in touch with the real world like a millionaire actor telling you how to...
Outrage on Twitter the next day. And by outrage, I mean a couple of people going, it was transphobic. It wasn't transphobic in the slightest. It was a joke about a trans person, but the joke had nothing to do with that aspect of her existence. And that's the other thing about offence. People get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target, and they're not necessarily the same. I'll tell you the joke. You make your own minds up. Right. So... it's live, so they go, and now your host for the 68th Annual Golden Globe Awards, please welcome Ricky Gervais. They go, and they're all clapping, all the actors are looking up, smiling at me nervously. It's brilliant, right? So I just go, relax, I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously. And I go, now Caitlyn Jenner, of course, and what a year she's had, became a role model for trans people everywhere, bravely breaking down barriers and destroying stereotypes. She didn't do a lot for women drivers, right? So that's a clever joke, and I'll tell you why, right? It's layered. No, listen, right? The subject of that joke is stereotypes. I'm playing with the notion of stereotypes, right? So I start off saying she's a real woman. Some would say a liberal, progressive attitude. Then I go, oh, if she's a real woman, I hit them with the old-fashioned reactionary stereotype. She must be a bad driver then, right? And the target of the joke is a celebrity killing someone in their car. Let's not forget that, shall we? A celebrity killing someone in their car, running home and popping on a dress. That's the target of the joke, just so we're clear, okay? She was interviewed about a week later at some press conference for a show she was launching, now cancelled. And the press were around and one of them said, what do you think of the Ricky Gervais joke? And she went, maybe I should host the Golden Globes, right? And they tweeted that and they atted me in because they want a celebrity feud. It was clickbait. So I rose to the bait, obviously. I just sent back, let her host, just don't let her drive. Another website that was in the room, Entertainment Weekly, they tweeted a different headline and they atted me in as well. And their headline was, Caitlyn finally breaks silence over Ricky Gervais. I just sent back, at last. She always breaks too late. Bring it on. Bring it on. But I'm a considered comedian. I like my jokes to be accurate and my targets to be fair. So I was engaging these people. I was saying, why is it transphobic? And they were saying, it's about a trans person. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying a joke about Bill Cosby is automatically racist. It depends on the joke. But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name, and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlete. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, you know, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he probably means a big, but I've learned my lesson. Now, I'd never dead name her now. Now I know it's wrong. I'd never dead name her now. But like years ago, when, you know, she